where
What?
it's way like without my jacket I'm too cold, but with it I'm a little too warm. And so I was trying to just ignore it. And Lawrence brought it up because he just wanted me to like have that more anxiety right before we go live.
And now we're live.
Temperaturely?
Yes.
Okay.
It means having to do with the temperature. Like that's in the dictionary.
Oxford or Webster's?
That's in Scrabble.
Hey, look, that's the one I care about. I'm a competitive MF.
There it is.
Yeah.
Fantastic forum. Assemble. Welcome. We are here at WonderCon 2023, day 2. You got the usual suspects in the building. You know him. You love him. He's our friggin'
Silent
riddle
assassin.
inside of Enigma.
Silent
The
assassin.
silent assassin, Jay.
We just kept talking through the whole
Intro, right, exactly. All of a sudden. Then we got the backbone, the pillar, the strength, the fantastic forum, our 9 vulnerable brawler, Moses Magnum.
Hey,
My name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to day 2 of WonderCon 2023. We're real excited.
At the last show, you cut off our intern. So it's like I don't see why you're getting on me for cutting people off.
What did I even say to you about cutting people off?
What?
classic Jay.
So we got a great show for you today because we have a few guests that we're going to bring through in just a moment. But, you know, we wanted to start off with, you know, the forum here and just talk to you all about how things have been for us today so far. And then we're going to bring you some guests. And, you know, depending on if you're watching live and in chat, we might try to answer some questions or chat about some of the things that you would like for us to make sure that we check out for the show and things like that. So, you know, please, the show is interactive as always. And, you know, we're going to try to bring you a little taste of what it's like to be at WonderCon 2023 once again. So, gents, how you feeling about WonderCon? Oh, I'm sorry. Before we go further, shout out to Oz. Oz, of course, you know, our intrepid sea reporter. He's not in the state, so he's not here with us. But we miss him. We really wish he was here because we'd be having an extra good time if Oz was here too. So, you know, I just want to make sure that we acknowledge the fact that Oz isn't here with us, unfortunately.
I mean, he could have, like,
If he wanted to.
he could have like had a drone or something to take his place.
Yes,
Like, we could have had a virtual presence device.
we could have.
Like, my soundboard allows for that.
We could have just did
Like we could have him on Skype. With
Or-
our phone.
Yeah. Well,
Hey.
but even like I could pipe in that audio, so it'd be like, you know, we're talking to him like normal, and when the audience could listen in.
Like,
face.
he has no excuse.
Oz has no excuse.
Yeah.
He just hates you as
Yeah.
people and did not want to be a part of this. So for
Is he
all of
afraid
you,
we talk about current events.
he was afraid we were talking about news. He's like, you know, it's boring and not even the topic today. So, so you know. But anyway,
Like,
so
at least when I'm bored, I just do something else.
yeah. But the problem is that you do it while you're still on the show.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, well, that's the problem. Like you can't just like space out as the host of the show.
Yeah, but at least I don't come on back on the show and say like, "Hey, that was boring." Like, I just space out and I read my comments.
That's for pre-production, not WonderCon.
I feel like both of you are bad for the show in different ways.
Like if we're talking about who's bad for, we're all bad for the show.
We're all bad
like,
for the show in different ways,
we're
but you know.
equally abusive to each other.
But you know, you and Oz are
We're
especially toxic at different ends of the spectrum. So you know, that's how I feel in my
Spectrum
heart.
being
You know.
the key word.
Anyway, gents, how have you felt about WonderCon 2023 so far? Moses?
I love it, man. That line trying to get in, like we came at the same time as yesterday, thinking, oh, we're gonna have the same spot. You know, the line was 2 miles back.
Yeah, to get
Car
into
line,
parking.
you know.
Yeah, to get into
Luckily, I
parking.
finagled the way into hotel parking, and we did it good. We had time to eat,
Right.
and so you know, it worked out for us. but
I love when we go to Moses. What do you think about WonderCon 2023? Let me tell you about this parking situation.
Yeah, well, that's
And
part
he's
of the
like,
experience.
it is
man.
in fact-
that's the Comic-Con experience.
And not only is it part of the
Yeah.
experience, but it's part of the experience that people don't talk about.
right,
Right. You
Look,
know.
here's the thing: we all love being here,
Right.
but what annoys you?
Right. Yeah.
And it's long lines. Now, long lines to get into the parking where you're so excited to be there. That's like you talk about spectrum. and anxiety and all this bullshit or issues.
So
It's
just censored himself?
yeah.
Do you hate him now?
No, I edited.
He edited
I
it. Oh,
reversed.
okay.
Got it. I played the can card in reverse time. But yeah, but definitely like that's part of the experience. So if you are like, it was more packed than yesterday. So if you are looking for parking, there's gonna be a line.
And this is, I think, we mentioned this yesterday where we kind of felt like today was going to be the telltale sign in regards to like what WonderCon 2023 is like in regards to like, is it really feel like it's back the way that we hoped it would be? And there's definitely a lot more people here today than were here yesterday. Like, I know you weren't here with us yesterday, Jay, unfortunately,
I
but
have to work.
Right.
Like most people.
Right.
Which is why this was empty.
Right. Exactly the point, Jay. Exactly.
Work will be here after WonderCon.
No, I don't even like that job.
Most of you don't.
Right. You don't even like that job. Quit that job. Come to WonderCon 2023. We don't care what state you're in. You can fly quick. You can fly quick. So how about for you, Jay? What have you thought of WonderCon 2023 so far?
Oh, I've been having a blast. All the awesome cosplay.
Yeah.
We haven't done too much of Artist Alley yet, but we have seen some artwork, a lot of products, T-shirts, cool shit, and love hanging out with my bros. Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm having a good time.
I'm glad to hear it, man, and we're happy that you're here with us because your presence was definitely missed yesterday. There was plenty of times where we mentioned your name because we knew what your reaction might be if you were here with us. So definitely, good stuff. We also want to mention and thank the American University of Health Sciences for having us out here once again, providing us this space to be able to broadcast. I mean, it's been a joy. Yeah. And so we just want to make sure that and you all can see the Chiron down at the bottom. If you want to become a superhero, please go ahead and go to www.auhs.edu and check out their program. If you have any thoughts about entering the medical field in a vocational way, they can help you. So make sure you go check them out. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm excited because we got a cool lineup of guests that we have going on today. We're going to be
real characters.
Absolutely. I mean, we were going to hear from some people from Aspen Comics today. We're going to hear from some folks over at Stranger Comics as well. We're going to hear from comic book artists, and who knows, we might even have like some unscheduled folks just pop in and say hello to you all. And if there's people that you want us to talk to, you can always jump into chat and let us know. And as long as we see it, we'll address it and try to make sure that happens as well. I mean, it's one of these things where we're not usually broadcasting over the weekend. Yeah. So we probably should have promoted this a little better. A little better, but look, hindsight's 2020.
If you're a fan, like we promote it and then we don't do it.
I know. Right. This is the opposite. Yeah. This is the opposite. Yeah. So but we're here.
So, I have a question from chat.
That's awesome.
They're asking, are we taking calls?
We are not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only because
no. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Only because we can read chat. I didn't bring. I mean, I could set up the monitor, but we didn't set it up.
Look, the answer is no. That's they get it. Yeah, we're here live, and so we got a lot of people to talk to, and so from a logistical standpoint, it doesn't make sense to take calls, but we will take your comments out of chat and bring them into the show as usual.
What he said.
Yeah. And look, Mo's out here like, see, but the reason why it didn't happen. It's like, you're good, Mo.
It can happen.
No,
10 minutes.
Mo, I just need you to do what you've already been doing and be awesome and present in this moment.
I can hear the call and I can relay it to you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Mo will be like friggin' translating in between his like.
What do you mean
translating?
Oh, translating. Okay.
Lating. So yeah. So it's gonna be a good time.
I think you would make a cute girl.
I think so too.
Emily as a parent.
Yeah.
That's hot.
You wouldn't know. Yeah, we're not getting into that. Jay, go get our next guest.
Yeah, please. Please go ahead and grab our first
we're
guest,
not
Jay.
into that. That's just,
appreciate
we
it.
don't do that on Saturdays. It's
oh,
a Sabbath,
Lord.
man.
Oh, Lord. I'm sitting here like, okay, like I need to get Jay out of here because, You know,
Larry-
he's on that popcorn already.
Larry, I spent money. I broke my promise. And those of you guys that watched yesterday, I said I wasn't going to spend money this weekend, and I spent money. But that'll be part of it. Like, yeah, I'll show you what I bought
Yeah.
in a little bit. But definitely, like, you're gonna have a good time because I'm gonna handle Oz's package. Oz's package will be here in spirit. So,
Awesome.
I got a little mystery box courtesy of Aspen Comics, and I'm gonna confront him. I'm like, hey man,
You're gonna confront him.
well, no, I don't know. Maybe might not be worth it. So I could be like, yo man,
Do you have it handy?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it right. Oh,
I'm a
schmack.
MF professional, man.
There it
I'm
is.
a MF professional.
MF
man.
professional.
Yeah.
Magnum MF.
Yeah, Magnum MF. Catch me on Snap, not Snapchat. Snap.
Marvel Snap. There
Yeah,
it is.
The
There
real
it is.
Snap.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, look, you use my deck, man.
So good.
Yeah.
Moses' variation of Thanos deck has reinvigorated the
Yeah.
Thanos for me, which
It's
how you know-
update proof.
it's update proof.
Yeah.
No, it's good
I mean,
stuff.
so far.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we do have our first guest coming in.
Yeah.
There he is. There he is. Frank, come on in, man. Look, you're you're man in the middle, please.
Yeah,
There he
man in
is.
the
There
middle.
he is. Man in the middle. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the co-founder here
Yes, co-founder, co-owner,
Co-owner.
co-worker, you name it.
of Aspen Comics.
Mhm.
And I'm look, forgive me, like I should have
Okay.
done the pre-production if
No
I
problem.
mess up your last name, Frank.
I'm out of here if you do.
But I know there it is. He's like, I'm done. It's Frank. Wait,
Mastro Morrow.
There, damn it. There it is.
Pretty easy.
Mastro
one, too.
Morrow.
Yeah, Mastro Morrow. You got it. You're all good.
Thank you, Frank. Frank, thank you for taking the time
Of
to be with
course.
us, man.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So, dude, please, talk to us. We would love to hear about what your experience has been like so far here at WonderCon 2023. Talk to us about what Aspen has going on and how the show has been for you so far.
Sure. We love the show, hands down. This is, I guess, a local show for us,
Right.
Because we're
Right.
from Culver City, not too far away. And the show, I guess, because of the pandemic, I can't say we've exhibited here every single year since we've been Aspen, but pretty close.
Mhm.
'Cause we've been Aspen 20 years now.
Right.
So, I mean, this is going on our, 16th, 17th one?
Mhm.
So we've been here a lot.
Wow.
So we definitely love the show. It's always really cool because it's more personable, right? Like at San Diego Con, I mean, truly, it's either meeting
Right.
or whatever, right?
Right.
Because of the way everything gets said. And here, we can be a little more relaxed. We can talk to our fans more. We can
Mhm.
hang out more, do more cool stuff like this.
Yeah.
So we really love WonderCon just because the atmosphere, it's always great coming here. We have so many good fans and so many good friends that come see us and everything. So it's fantastic. So the
Awesome.
show for us, truly, I'm just happy everybody's back and having fun because last year they did the show and it was definitely really unique,
It was
right?
weird.
Yeah.
I didn't even think they actually did it myself. Like I've been saying, it's the first one, and they're like, because I didn't get to make it, but it's definitely like it didn't feel like there was one.
Yeah, it was very different feel than what this one is
Yes,
this year.
yes,
Right? Like,
absolutely.
This feels like it's pretty much getting back to normal,
Mhm.
which is great. I mean, because that stuff affected everybody, but now hopefully
we'll
things
get
are coming
back to
back.
normalcy.
Yeah.
That's like
for sure.
A theme for us has been in doing these recaps. It's like seeing people with like a cosplay mask and not a surgical mask
Yeah.
over it is like almost heartwarming because we strive for normalcy now,
Right.
Totally.
not the excellence.
Yes.
But as far as like your booth here, I mean, you guys have your Michael Turner variants, man. That's
Mhm.
one of the good things to get at your booth. I like spending
Sure.
money there every now and then. And now I saw you guys have these little mystery.
Yeah, the mystery packs.
Yeah,
Cool.
man. So
Yeah.
I picked one up myself because
cool.
you got
Thanks.
the gambler in me, and I'm gonna open it in front of you.
Well,
Because
Well, hopefully, we almost tried to make those foolproof because pretty much every single one we put some really good stuff in it.
Okay.
Because Megan and I created those, and we wanted to make sure that everybody had some good items. But
Yeah.
for the show, honestly, we have a slightly different game plan than usual.
Okay.
Because most shows always have tons of exclusives
Yeah.
and tons of different
Yeah,
books and all
yeah.
kinds of stuff, right?
Totally.
And this show we don't have any, like anything really crazy brand new.
Yeah.
And reason being is we've been working on a whole other project which I can't talk about, but it's allowed us to flex creativity muscles in a whole different way, to learn new skills, to kind of get juiced back up. Because don't get me wrong, I love comic books with all my heart. We've been publishing comics as Aspen for over 20 years. I've been in comics for 26 years with Top Cow before that. And I love it. I do. I'm going to be 50 years old soon. But
no one can question whether you love comic books or not at this point.
But,
I watched your hair over.
I know, right? But the point being is, we wanted to do something a little different.
Okay.
And even though we had different ideas for all this years of building toward the 20-year anniversary, we're like, well, it's totally different now, but that's okay because it's different in a good way, and we're going down the same path, just a little bit of a different direction that will hopefully bring us to a point in our life where after 20 years, hopefully, and don't get me wrong, I love being at WonderCon, I love being at all the shows, but do I want to do that for another 20 years? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Let's try something new and exciting and see how that goes for a little bit. And you know what? Whether it succeeds as great as we hope or fails, at least we tried.
Is there I know you can't tell us about the project, but is there a timeline that you can talk to us about, what we can expect to hear about it?
Summer.
Okay, perfect.
Pretty soon, because we've been working on it since beginning of last year. So
subscribe, hit the bell. We're gonna have them back here. Giving us
that's gonna be ridiculous. Because in fact, usually, honestly, when the pandemic first started and all this stuff, everybody was nervous and not understanding what was happening and all this stuff was going on. And for us, it was the same way. But we're also like, well, you know what? We've been on this same hamster wheel for so many years, and you never know when the right time is to hop off. Well, the world stopped the hamster wheel for us.
Right.
So we were like, okay, instead of just sitting around throwing our thumbs, let's try different things. Let's do new stuff.
Right.
And so Mark Rosen, our VP of production, learned new skills and learned all different things outside of Photoshop. And Peter Steigerwald was doing different paintings, and me and Vince were doing different books and doing different things. And it was awesome because we were able to discover things that we also love and enjoy that are in the same wheelhouse, but different.
Tangentially related. Yeah.
So that was really cool for us. And when all of the stuff we're working on now came up, and we've been doing all the lives and all the different things we were doing because of, going right into all the pandemic adjustments, we realized we couldn't do both. And that's why so many people were like, oh, are you guys okay? Did you and Peter have a fight or something? Because we didn't see anything for holidays. We're like, no, it's okay. But you know what? For first time in 20 years, we're actually are taking a small little hiatus from all that stuff because we're working on other things, and we'll be back, but everything's good. And we're here with smiles and handshakes for everybody, and it's all good.
And the way things went down, it was terrible, but it did give us just a stop and just look back and reevaluate things.
Totally.
Like even us, even the way we do things,
100%.
It changed. That we, I'm not going to get into that history, but really, it's just we all kind of adapted, and that's what a marketplace is. This is one huge marketplace, and if you can't adapt as a business, you're not going to survive. Period. And it's like it's almost like theory of evolution in a business way.
Right on point. And to be honest, what it made us do is realize what. Did I say something?
No, it wasn't you. I don't think.
Okay. I'm trying not to move.
No,
around
you're good. No, you're good. No, you're fine.
Was realize, you know what? All those little things we were kind of worried about, we don't need to really be worried about that.
Right.
And
that's what it all is about. It's like it makes you realize what is actually important.
Yeah, we can push forward, with other things that actually are more meaningful for us versus, all this other stuff that was always just sort of like a little nagging thing or whatever it might have been, right?
Yeah.
But it allowed us the opportunity to just be like, okay, focus. Let's try this new skills. Let's try these new things, and let's push forward in a different way, still down the same path. Which was cool.
It's interesting because, Aspen, of course, has a super rich history in regards to not only, of course, from creative standpoint, with all of you over there, but of course the characters and just the worlds that you all have been able to build there. And one thing that I've always really appreciated about Aspen is it feels like everybody there definitely has it's interesting. It almost straddles a line between a mom and pop kind of operation, but major comic book corporation. And I don't even understand how you all are able to have both of those things
You're
feel right at the same time. But it feels like everybody there is always willing to like put on a lot of different hats.
Yeah.
Everybody, but everybody there's so like talented enough to do it too, which is crazy. I know that yourself. I mean, you've written,
writer,
you've
everything.
edited, and so it's just like like that's something that not everybody has a skill set for that.
I draw too. Like
Do you really?
Yeah, but
Sheesh.
the thing is,
Mike, I need you to be a little less talented, man.
Michael
You don't
Turner.
podcast either, right?
You guys are safe. He brought together an incredible family. I know that sounds cheesy, but
the feel is there.
We at the time we were building Aspen, we never aspired to be Marvel or DC or anything like that. We aspired to be the Pixar of those companies, right? Like put out these very cool, select, awesome boutique books and keep the feel of the people that had those same drives and desires and everything with us. And that's why truly, me and Vince were talking about this, Vince Hernandez, our editor-in-chief, about 2 weeks ago-ish. And we're like, you know what we're kind of proud of, and maybe it's not a detriment, but maybe we're just getting too old, but we barely had any turnover really, you know what I mean? Like at Aspen, because everybody loves to be there, everybody stays. And yeah, of course we have people come and go, but compared to other companies where like, oh, that person's there now, and that person's there now, and that person's, you know what I mean?
I'm sure the reasoning's different too.
Yeah, for us, it's just, we all have the Mike, whether he's not here or here, we still have that same drive that we had the day we decided to start Aspen. And even more so now, it's truncated on top of knowing that we want Mike's legacy to live on forever.
Right. And
we are going to do everything in our power for the rest of our lives to make that happen, whether people like it or not. Oh, why are you doing a variant cover this year of this? I'm like, well, okay, so we understand you don't like it, but a lot of other people are appreciative because they know that there's not going to be other Michael Turner stuff ever again.
Right.
So we never try to take advantage of any of that, but we've always tried to be respectful and treat it with delicacy in the terms of, you know what, this is a super special Batman book or a super special Aspen book, so let's do these couple covers.
And that's what I like about it, because it definitely feels like you're keeping his legacy alive.
100%.
And I remember one of my first Comic-Con experiences, I was 16 years old, is watching Michael Turner just drawing a sketchbook and in pencil, and it just looks like something nobody else could do.
Right.
And getting to see that in live, I'm getting goosebumps already. And it's like coming and always walking by the Aspen booth, like you see something a little different than what you've seen from the archives or whatever. And it's like it really is keeping his legacy alive. He's alive with us in that moment when we experienced that cover.
And one thing that I can say is that Aspen, like I said, it stays true to its vision, and basically like in a way it's like you're always of course gonna like bring new stories and new characters, but you have like a style and a vibe that you maintain that's like your brand. And one thing that I like is that you all definitely have the kind of feel where like respectfully, if you don't like what we do, there's other things to read. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, but it's interesting because it's like I feel like there are other companies and other brands out there that, kind of feel like, oh, well, if you don't like what we do, then you just don't like comics, or you just, and Aspen doesn't give off that at all. But Aspen's like, whether you're talking about how you interact with people at the booth in shows, or whether you're talking about how it is that it seems like creators conduct themselves in interviews or how they present the material. It's just like, no, like we're doing what we do, and if you appreciate that, great, and if you don't, that's okay too. There are other things to read.
Totally. That's been our attitude since day one, because oh my gosh, this show and all the shows we've always attended are filled with so much incredible stuff and so many fantastic creators. And I'm as big a fan as anybody. I have pictures from my very first Comic-Con when I was 14 years old with Jim Lee and all these different people that I, had my Wildcats #1 signed or whatever, you know what I mean? All my stuff. And we love it. And the attitude, like you're saying at our booth, we don't want to try to hard sell you. If you like it, you like it. And yes, we'll sit here and blab with you about it till we're blue in the face because we love our stuff. Right. But if you don't like it, okay. You like anime, you like this, you like that. That's fantastic. We do too. That's great. Enjoy. But we've never ever tried to be to that point where it's like, oh, what? Blah, 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 that's not us. And Mike was never that. Mike, of all people, if you knew anything about him, he was the most grateful for his fans, for the people that allowed him to do what he loved to do while he was here. And that's why every show, if Mike's signing was from 1 to 3, you would go by the booth at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and Mike was still there signing, sitting in his chair with his pillows and still smiling and handshaking every single person and making them feel special in that moment. So that way, when they walked away, they were like, you know what, that dude is awesome, you know, and that's because that was him. He was generally a great person. I always tell people, whenever they ask me about Mike, you know, he was my best friend. I love him to death, and I'll you know.
I know.
I'm
sitting here feeling him. Oh, Jesus.
I
didn't know we were going to talk about the like
I talk to him till I'm blue in the face, but when I think about him is when it really affects me, right?
Yeah.
But truly, people are always like, oh, what was Mike like? I'm like, well, he was a good artist, but he was a better person. Like, truly. Like that's Mike. You know what I mean? Like, he was a great artist. Don't get me wrong.
No,
but,
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But I think that, you know, I mean, not only he would want to hear that somebody describe him in that way, but I feel like, you know, that's the kind of thing that we all aspire to. Like, you know, like if somebody could say, hey, you were great at what you did, but you're even better at just being a human being.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, who can be mad at that? You know?
We never wanted the phrase of don't ever meet your heroes, right?
Right.
Because it sucks when you're so excited to meet an actor or an artist or whatever, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, right? You're like,
and
really?
Unfortunately, we've all had that experience at a con too.
And Mike, not a single ever in my lifetime have I ever heard that expression for Mike, which is awesome, which means Mike lived, and don't get me wrong, he had fun and he always enjoyed life. And, you know, if he wasn't working, he was out doing stuff and, you know, enjoying it. But when he was here for the fans, for the people that wanted to come see him. And he spent the time smiling and handshaking and not just head down and
work hard.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He was here for that. You know?
Before you let you go, let's
pack
this.
Let's bust it.
Yeah, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got.
$50.
I know. Oh no, I'm nervous.
No.
This is what you can buy.
What if it's not good?
Here. Look, judging by all your cover art and everything I see in your booth, like it's gonna be pretty good. Like, you know.
Oh no, I might have to go get another one.
No. I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. You need help?
Yeah.
There you go. I'll pull that way.
We did put a lot of really cool stuff in those.
Yeah.
There's like these cool little.
It's packed to the brim so much we can't even get the envelope.
I got Aspen Universe Revelation.
That's a good book.
Is that the Virgin cover?
So that's a very good book. There's only 150 of those. That came out as a holiday exclusive that had a matching set cover, and you can't buy that book anymore. It is a very difficult book to find.
Nice.
That's a cool book.
Nice. And then next on it is Black Panther number 25.
Yeah, that was our variant cover that was a crossover during the Civil War when we were doing all the Civil War covers.
Nice.
Because it's funny, a lot of people are like, oh, I know Mike from Fathom or Soulfire, and then other people are like, oh, I know Mike from the Civil War cover that I saw on the magazine on the airplane when I was flying from somewhere. But I'm like, okay, you know, like that cover was everywhere. You know what I mean? And so those exclusives were during, you know, Civil War.
And then I got 4 points.
Yeah, that's cool.
The first trade paperback by Larry, your favorite creator of Sugar Man.
Yeah.
I
think. Let's see. Just to be sure, I thought we had a couple other.
Something missing. Yeah.
Oh, see.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot more cool stuff.
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Oh, okay. Look, was a sticker. Okay.
Yep.
Now, who's this character? This is from
Soulfire?
That's
Mia from Soulfire. Yep. So,
very nice. Oh, wow. See, like that. Oh, you're trying to freaking leave money on the table
so
out
here. That's an exclusive Soulfire sticker we made only for these packs.
Nice.
I know it sounds really, really silly. Oh, an exclusive sticker, but many people were like, "Oh my God, can I get one of those?"
Yeah.
That one we put in all of them.
Yeah,
so,
but it's the logo itself.
Yeah,
I love that. It's like a word bubble and the little bubbles from the Fathom comic.
This was a super cool limited edition. Only 6. It's numbered on the bottom. So.
Oh, nice. What's the number, Mo?
What'd you get? 56
out of 60. Yeah.
Nice.
Right. Yeah.
And then
bookmark.
Yeah.
So
we tried to put some cool
when
things
I read
in there
books without pictures.
It's very awesome. And so talk to us a little bit about like what projects would you want like the people to know about in regards to like what Aspen has out now or things that they should be looking for coming out.
Sure. So I should have brought some stuff for show and tell, but the biggest thing was we did a book called Michael Turner Creations, right? Which is there's a soft cover available, there's a hardcover available, there's different versions available. That includes all of Fathom Volume 1, Soulfire Volume 1, and the Ecos previous story that we had never reprinted.
Wow.
That was in the book as well. It's an incredible book. It takes about a year and a half to put together, and everybody who comes by the booth, if you haven't seen that book, everybody stops and looks there, so that book's awesome, and it's available in all bookstores, and retailers can order it and everything, so it's available everywhere. More recently, we've introduced this whole new race of characters similar to the Blue, because that's Aspen, she's from the Blue, right? And then we have Grace and all our characters from Soulfire who are part of the magical world, right? So about 2 years ago, we started to introduce these characters called the Core, which is similar. Well, I take that back, not similar, because there's been Journey to the Center of the Earth and things like that, right? But we're doing a whole different spin on where that spark of creation came from and things like that, with evolution and how it plays into the same thing with Fathom, how the basis of that is characters evolved onto land, what if they also evolved underwater, and that's where the characters in Fathom came from. So now we have our third leg of the table, because the fourth would be humans, so the third leg is the Core, which are beings of the earth and everything, and we've just started to silly pun intended, scratch the surface of all of that. That way we can introduce all these new characters and everything. So we've had 2 books so far, one Fathom the Core, one Soulfire the Core, and then we'll have a third follow-up where all of it really starts to get going. So we're really excited about that. Awesome. And that's what we've done the last probably 2 years, because Fathom was 1 year, Soulfire was the other.
Awesome.
So, yeah. And then we have, of course, 30 plus other books of all different things. So whether you're like sci-fi, action, adventure, all
Executive
kinds of
Assistant,
stuff.
Iris,
a lot
and
of
those.
yeah,
That's a really good series.
Sia Hoom's Lola.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that book. Yeah. So we're really proud of our history, and we're really proud to look forward into what we have coming, because honestly, we're so excited. So it's cool.
One last question out of the chat room here.
Sure.
How is it like where your digital distribution? You sell digital comics?
We do, yeah.
Through,
honestly, we were one of the first publishers on Comixology, and we're on Drive-Thru, and we're on the library program. We're on a bunch of different digital programs. I know, unfortunately, Comixology, once they sold to Amazon, a lot of stuff changed. And man, it's so hard to find the books now, unfortunately.
But they're there.
But they are there. So if you do read on Kindle, or if you read on any smart device or whatever, you can find all of our books available digitally.
And they have to go through Comixology, or
for those particular ones.
Can they go through the site as a bypass to get to the Comixology?
No, they don't allow us to have a bypass.
Got it.
No.
Got it. That's fair.
Not for that.
We know how Comixology does.
We we unfortunately don't have everything directly available. So I know like DC has their own now and things like that. We don't.
No, I mean that's
that portion we're like, well, we'll leave it to the experts. We'll make the books and let them do the digital distribution.
Everybody at Aspen is doing way too many jobs as is. So I'm not mad at you.
You don't have an anchor/coder.
Exactly. I'll go tell Mark right now. I'm like, you gotta start doing all our digital.
Yeah.
You can go home now.
Right. So Frank, man, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And I mean, we know that you got to get back to your booth, but the fact of the matter is, we want to make sure that you continue to be a friend of the show.
Of course.
I mean, we're local, you're local. Let's we'll get together again, hopefully.
Yeah, after summer, once all this new stuff comes out, let's do it again.
And
then I can give you some good updates. So
nice.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man.
That was awesome.
Thank you very much,
of course,
sir.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for all the cool shit.
Of course. Thanks.
Thanks
for having me. That was awesome. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later.
Later. All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Good times indeed.
Oz's package.
Thank you, Frank. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can come back in, Jay, even though, I guess we got to go to our next guest, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Sebastian.
Right.
I know.
Sebastian A. Jones, producer of Friends. And, well, I think, I'm going to ask him that, if it's him. No, you're good. It's the switch up there.
Oh, it is?
It's tripping, yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you,
Oh, what happened? You lost the...
Yeah, you click that, you turned off the camera.
Oh, that's the camera?
Yeah. Our light and camera is there.
There it is. Back.
Okay.
It's back.
No, it's on. It's on battery now.
Okay. Will it?
Isn't that white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they unplug it at all?
This one right here?
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Did you click it again?
But
All right.
I hope we're still. I hope we're still
We're
on.
still live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Lloyd, do me a favor. Hit the display button over there.
there we go.
Yeah.
Like, how did that work?
Something, you know.
I think it's that button is the tap button.
Yeah.
So I just tap it.
So hit the mode button for me. And then that's
There it is, folks. Look,
change the exposure.
fantastic form and rare form. Mad
Yeah.
Buggy. I know. And
You wanted it. You
I know.
wanted it.
There it is. We
Yeah.
spoke it into existence. Classic FF.
Well, this is 1
Yeah.
Do we need to
Yeah, I need to change the exposure because it reset our.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is. So cool. So folks, we're gonna have Sebastian A. Jones, which from Stranger Comics, the writer, and he's gonna talk to us about everything happening with Stranger.
They're gonna see the magic of my settings.
There it is. This is what happens when you go live. So forgive us. Looks good. You don't like Moses doesn't like it.
Okay, that's
What do I know? I'm merely the talent. Merely the talent. Barely that. Look, I'm the quote unquote talent question mark. No. So
okay. So for next time, we need our own power outlet.
yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, we can bring a
No, they need to give us our own power outlet.
yeah. So cool. But we know we're living and learning. Living and learning.
All right, let's see.
So
Larry, you asked us how this day felt.
Yeah.
But how did this day feel for you?
Oh, you know what? I've loved it. I mean, not only has it been I think the main thing that I've enjoyed is just being able to be here, how we were, like how Frank mentioned how, last year kind of felt a little like, I don't know. This year, it's it feels like the people are here. And look, more importantly, our people are here. You know what I'm saying? We got Lloyd here that, came to come hang out. We just, we saw April and Norm, and I'm sure that there are other people here that, we haven't even run into yet that are our folks that we would love to talk to and whatnot. And so it's I just love that aspect of things. And also too, they have a good programming schedule this year with a lot of interesting different things to see. I know that today one of the things I was hoping to check out that I was looking forward to was a spotlight on Tom King.
Yeah.
And unfortunately that got postponed till tomorrow, but it's still happening, and so I'm looking forward to checking that out tomorrow. Yeah. And so it's
Now they got postponed. I heard it got merged with somebody else.
Well, it was supposed to happen today.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it couldn't happen today. And so because it, instead of just canceling it outright, I think they did put it with somebody else's time. So it's not I don't feel it was a thing
somebody got screwed for Tom King.
I mean,
instead of Tom King getting screwed over.
I mean, I don't know if I want to say it like that, but yeah, that's probably the best way. That's how the person who got added or who got merged with probably feels my spotlight is now half Tom King spotlight, which means it's all Tom King spotlight. But who knows? I mean, look, if it's say Alex Ross, which is not, but if it was, Alex Ross probably feels like he could hold his own with Tom King, but you got to be of a particular caliber. Yeah. So, all right, we have our next guest coming in.
Here he comes. Jay should have brought his thumb set. So.
Hey there. Good to see you, Sebastian. Come on in. Come on in. We're live already.
We're live.
Just FYI. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have
Philip. I'm sorry.
Philip. I love it. We have creator, writer, Sebastian A. Jones here with us, from Stranger Comics. I know you're gonna like friggin' blow our socks off with all the things that you have going on.
There, I was suddenly looking there. I'm looking in there. What's up, everybody? Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing being here at WonderCon. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being here with us. And I think the first thing I would like to start off with is just for you to talk about your WonderCon 2023 experience. What has it been like this year?
Dreadful.
No,
I'm joking. It's been amazing, to be honest. So this year has been. It's lovely because when we come back to these conventions and WonderCon specifically, because it's in my backyard, we get to see old friends.
Yes.
And it's amazing. Some people that I've been coming out for a long time, they're like, some of them haven't had a kid, and now there's like a little bambino.
Yeah.
It's so you really feel like you're reconnecting with family, and it reaffirms what we do and why we do it. It is a real grind making comics, and it's not easy.
Indeed.
So when you see these folks, it's just amazing. So a lot of love.
Yeah. And I mean, how do you feel like the show is this year versus? I mean, I know that there was WonderCon last year, and obviously after or before the pandemic. But how do you feel about it? In the time since the pandemic, what's this year like so far? This
year's been amazing. It's been amazing. I think there's a little less tension. I think maybe because people are just feeling more comfortable to be back in the swing of coming to a convention. Masks are off. Yeah. We're sharing germs again.
Yeah, exactly right. That was real though.
A lot of yes. Can't wait for tomorrow. Monday when I'm like, oh, maybe I should have worn a mask. I've got con crud now. I'm ready to crawl and die.
Nerd flu plus.
Yes, exactly. That's the variant. That's the exclusive right there.
We love variants.
We do. Exactly.
Yes. You got a variant right here?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about some of these books.
Brought a few sneaky variants over. This is
beautiful.
Thank you. This is a Niobe and Dura variant. Obviously, this is the Lauryn Hill joint. We do a lot of variants, a lot of hip hop homages. So I just grabbed one. Tribe Called Quest, Biggie, Outkast. I'm an old soul 90s hip hop in that soul hip hop kind of era.
Yeah.
So, but this is kind of cool. This I wrote with Prentice Penny, who is the showrunner of the TV show Insecure on HBO. So we got that joint right there.
That's nice.
I also brought a couple of other trade backs just to give you a kind of a glimpse into what we do. This is Niobe She Is Life and She Is Death. I co-wrote this with I feel like name dropping because I'm a WonderCon, right?
I know. Well, hey, look, you're telling the truth though. Hey, this is like, tell us who. Look.
So Niobe She Is Life was co-written by Amanda Stenberg, who is who played Rue in the Hunger Games, and she's the star of the new Star Wars franchise, The Acolyte. And when we wrote this together, it became the first nationally distributed comic book with a black female author, artist, and here in the history of all this shit.
That's so crazy. But I know, like, that we're doing that, like, man, still, first.
I don't know. A little bonkers. So Niobe She Is Life is a Beauty and the Beast love story threaded with murder and mystery that leads to war. But it's also about a young elven girl returning to her ancestors to find her faith. We've also got Niobe Pathfinder role-playing games. Niobe She Is Death is where Niobe becomes a badass bounty hunter hunting down sex traffickers and slave traders to reflect our own goals to get abducted. So we got that stuff there. As it's WonderCon, I thought I'd bring my WonderCon exclusive.
let it settle.
I was gonna pretend it's a freeze frame, like technical difficulties. This by Tahani Farr of Dusu. That's part of Niobe's universe. And this is, I thought I'd bring the original hardcover of The Untamed, where you first meet Niobe and you get introduced into the world of Asunder. This is a story of a man who's stuck in purgatory. After 10 years, the devil comes along. He says, I'll give you 7 days to reap the 7 souls that murdered you and your family. The guy says, well, sign me up, coach. And the artist who's the lead designer, principal character designer for the Last of Us video game, did this piece for us right here.
Nice.
But yeah, it's
Untamed is what started it all.
Started
right?
everything. So you can get the Untamed. We got hardcovers, trade paperbacks, the whole nine.
And Untamed, what year did Untamed come out? Because that was the first book.
The first issue came out / didn't come out in 2009.
Okay, that's so crazy.
And then we got into some legal,
yeah, I could just smack it.
and then we came out in 2015 with a hardcover.
Okay.
So people actually that are collectors, like you guys, want to come back to the booth and get it.
Mhm.
Is Naibi's first appearances in the single issue that never came out.
Oh.
Naibi and the Stranger, 2009 first printing.
Wow.
So we dropped the Untamed with the first issue of Niobe in 2015.
Okay. And so,
The Untamed hardcover, I mean.
Okay. And so, from then till now, how many different books are in this universe now?
We have 6 hardcovers, 6 trade paperbacks, and we have a bunch of other singles that are on its way being collected.
Yeah.
We'll have probably about 2 to 3 more by the end of the year.
So, like, title-wise, though, like, say if people are like, hey, I want to, like, how many different titles is it actually? Like, is it like, because it feels like it has to be like
12, I think.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I think 12.
That's amazing.
At a guess of the top of my head, yeah.
So I know that, creatively, you're the driving force behind all of this stuff, but you work with a lot of
amazing
co-writers,
people, yeah.
right, to bring ideas in and whatnot. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that process is like for you in regard? Because obviously you have ideas, they have ideas.
No, co-writing is amazing because I think I've co-written. I'm co-writing a new one right now with Tuso Mbedu. If you've seen The Woman King, she plays Viola Davis's daughter in the. Oh, spoiler! Well, if you haven't seen it, I just spoiled it.
I know.
It
is what we do here.
Spoiler.
I know, but it's a great movie. Don't worry, you should see it anyway.
And Viola Davis, funny enough, gave us the forward and the hardcover of Naibi Shear's life.
Amazing.
But co-writing is fantastic because they're literally breathing new life, fresh ideas and perspectives into the characters that you've created that you might not have thought of.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really, whose idea is best wins. I'm not really precious like that. I think as long as someone honors the medium and the characters and the spirit with which they were intended, I'm just always super excited to learn as well and grow.
And it comes in like when you're actually like laying stuff out, ideas, and the artist comes back and draws something like there's got to be still a little bit like, hey man, what the hell? You got a little bit of that? Like, I know
a little bit of.
Yeah.
That's a scientific term.
Hey man, what the?
Because it's like you had a vision, and then he had a vision, but maybe he's not reaching yours. Like how much of that do you deal with? I mean, you developed the whole world, so that there's got to be a couple pages or panels that weren't up to snuff.
What are you trying to get out of here? Digging into the hard stuff.
Like, which ones are the garbage ones? No. I'm just. We're not trying to do
I'm
that.
gonna pick the.
I know.
One writer once told us, they said, "Oh, leave space for balloons because it was like a carnival scene."
Right.
But he wanted space for word balloons.
Sure.
And the guy just drew a bunch of balloons in people's hands.
Yeah.
Well, we're pretty lucky at Stranger Comics because when I write, my chief creative officer and art director, he lays everything out at the internally in-house.
Nice.
So we blueprint our vision really, really thoroughly before it gets to the finishing artist to take all the credit.
Okay. No, and it shows in the quality. A lot of pre-production, fixing it.
A lot of pre-production,
Yeah.
pre-production.
Yeah.
But no, we were the amazing artists. Sheldon Mitchell, who does She Is Death. A lot of these guys too, I like to kind of give them enough parameter to also breathe and improve. And sometimes, as long as it comes back with Blue Line, or if people want to test some stuff and try some stuff, a lot of times they'll just call me and say, "Hey, what do you think about this idea?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's great," or "No, I'm not really feeling it because of X, Y, and Z." But also, most artists that I work with know that I like a lot of the widescreens, like so it's cinematic. And then if I go into uprights or broken panels, it's because I want to feel claustrophobic, or I want to purposely break up panels. It's not like, oh, here's a random panel that's a box because and no knock on anybody, but me personally, I like everything cinematic, and then panels are broken up for certain reasons. So.
It's interesting though, because, especially for someone like yourself, Sebastian, who, from the beginning, it seems like you've had a vision for an entire world
Sure.
that this or entire universe that all these characters would exist in.
Sure.
So on one hand, you literally had like you're seeing things that aren't even in existence yet.
Right.
On the other hand, you're open to this collaborative process,
For sure.
which allows for a lot of cooks to come into the kitchen because
Yes.
you know you have co-writers, you have your creative designer as kind of like the layout artist, but then you have a lot of other artists that you know you bring in to help do
100%.
stuff. So it's kind of like those two things feel like they'd be hard to exist at once, but somehow you all pull that off. So if you could like just speak a little bit in
Sure.
regards to like how you feel like you're able to like balance those two things.
Right. Yeah. I think it's just the order of things, so you don't get ahead of yourself a little bit. So when I write kind of like almost movie-like with a final draft program, and I write the entire. I do the outline first, so I got story beats of the outlines, and then I kind of find like, oh, I feel like that scene's going to take 5 pages. That scene's going to take 3 pages. I want to end this moment of this scene on a cliffhanger here or here, and I kind of then in the beginning I would be a lot more panel specific. Now I find it's better for the process if I go, here's my page scenes, here's my dialogue, my page scenes, and let my layout artist kind of get inside my head and kind of go, this is what I see. So it allows him an opportunity to be creative and play in ways that I might not have thought of.
Well, that's really interesting because that's almost like a hybrid, like OG Marvel method kind of thing going on there, because it's not necessarily panel for panel, but it's
Right.
like you know all of the story beats that are going to be encompassed in a
100%.
particular set of pages.
All the dialogue, I don't.
And then you do. Oh, go ahead.
I don't. Yeah, no, not to interrupt. I
No,
do.
so please.
I don't do the old school. It's like,
Yeah.
here's story beats, go do the art, then I'll fill in the dialogue.
Right.
The dialogue is actually a hugely important driving kind of emotional, thrusting force throughout the whole thing for me. So the irony is like, so Tolkien started with languages. The Untamed was first started with a poem. So I wrote a poem, and I built the story around the poem, and then carried on building and layers on top of that. So dialogue for me is really, if you read one of my books, you'll probably know it's because I like David Lynch or Spike Lee or Guy Ritchie's early works, his gangster works, Scorsese, or my all-time favorite is Kurosawa and Sergio Leone. You just go, oh, I know that voice. So I'm not a big believer in being a copycat type of person. For
But
sure, I've got my influence.
Right, yeah.
But then I like to create from the heart and from my own experiences.
So then it's interesting, like, and I'm just trying to make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying. Then, so you have the beats, but you don't necessarily break it down panel by panel.
Correct.
But
I break it down page scene. Like, okay, so if I write the comic book, I go, all right, this scene, I think I want 5 pages. The whole scene's written out like a movie, and all the dialogue's done. But I break that down into, it's like if it was a movie, it's like, here's the scene. This is how many pages I want to play with for this scene. Next scene is 3 pages. This is 2 pages. This is a double spread. If I see certain images I'll jot it down for the artist.
Wow. But and so how do you know where the dialogue goes in what scene then? Because I know you just attach it to the scene, but not by a panel.
Correct. My layout artist, in the beginning, I would be a lot more panel, and I would actually do the very first issue of The Untamed. I actually did my layouts as well. But Daryl is we've done it so many years now. He understands my vision of what I want to see.
You've grown together.
Yes. And so, so shout out to him. He deserves a lot of the credit for how this looks and feels and breathes.
It's amazing, man. Like, I just love to hear about not only your process today, but the journey of the process.
The journey
that's an amazing thing to hear. And I mean, the quality of the books, I think it feels like the growth and the process is demonstrated within
Thank you.
the growth of the quality of the books as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
So, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mo.
Oh yeah, I have to settle the bet. Are you the Sebastian A. Jones that produced Friends too?
No.
Okay,
A lot of
I lost. Because like, when you talk about how you produce your books, it's
Right.
like it comes from like he's got some sort of training in a high.
Do you feel
high
like
pressure environment?
if this was the Sebastian A. Jones that did Friends, that'd be so long without any black people?
That's true, yeah.
So long?
Look, season 7.
Season 7, there was a guy.
I
Love interest.
Yeah.
Wow. Only took 7 seasons.
I know.
Shout out to the other Sebastian Jones. You failed. Those the hell out of here with that shit. I can't even fuck with that.
Too funny. So, as far as projects and books that you would like people to know about
Sure.
right now, like what maybe give the people
What they
like,
want.
what they want,
Yeah.
and let them know, say, hey, if you don't know anything about Stranger Comics, but you're like, they listen to you just now and they're like, man, this guy sounds like he's on it. Let them know, maybe somebody where they should start.
Sure.
And then also, if there are people that are the fans and they're like,
Sure.
hey, I just want to know what's next. Where should I be going next or looking forward to next?
Absolutely.
Give them both of those for me, Sebastian.
Thank
please.
you. So you want to come to strangercomics.com. You also want to follow us at Stranger Comics on all the various socials. I do Thursday lives on Instagram and YouTube, and you'll be able to stay really up to date with everything that we do and create. If you are getting into the world of Asunder for the very first time, you want to start with the Untamed. Or you want to start with Niobe Shear's Life, which a lot of people do. It's a lighter read. This one's a bit more all ages friendly. This is not as friendly. This is a bit more grown. All right. But for fans that are coming back, you want to get Niobe Endura, Wrath of the Ancient, the prequel to all this stuff. You want to get the new stuff, Tales of Asunder, series of one shots, a whole new bunch of comics is coming.
Oh man.
Yeah, more stuff in the world of Asunder. So yeah, stay tuned. Come to strangercomics.com. Join our Discord. Join the Patreon. Join the Kickstarter. Join the gym. Don't be like me.
Yes. Join the gym. I got it. I'll take the message.
Cool.
How do you stay so thin?
Stress.
Stress. Okay.
Yeah, get some stress in your life. You will look svelte. I look good for 49.
Listen, it's so funny because I'm like, I don't stress out much, and it shows. It shows.
Well, I told him he's a good partner to his girlfriend because he's a good listener. He's not narcissistic enough to build muscle.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Sebastian, man, dude, it's been amazing talking
Thank
to you,
you.
and we hope that we get to do it again.
Thank you very much.
I mean, we think of you as a friend to Fantastic Forum, our show here.
Thank you.
And we definitely look forward to the next time we get to talk.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for
Thanks
taking
so
the
much.
time.
Appreciate
you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. And he bought all the stuff.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm going to do it
Larry,
this way.
go reach
There
in
we go.
that bag. There's I'll show you a beautiful
Which bag?
Lloyd's bag right there.
Oh.
There's a print that came free.
Oh,
in this
yeah.
bag? Yeah. There's a print
All
right there. You
prints.
can see it right there. Just pull it out.
There it is.
So, look, I got this beauty. Came free with my purchase. Talk about a deal. I always give
Look at
more
that.
deals out.
So
It was,
beautiful.
$80 for almost what?
Six straight paperbacks.
Yeah, everything
All
we
6.
got. And
A free art
the
print.
free art print.
That's how we roll. A
Yeah.
lot of hookups. Come to the Thursday lives.
Yeah.
We'll hook you up
Yeah.
with all sorts of
And
mischief.
if you don't get them here, get them at San Diego Comic.
Go San Diego Comic Con
Yeah.
at strangercomics.com.
Yeah. I don't trust you with this. It's mine now.
I know. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you
Yeah,
so
man.
much.
All right.
Appreciate
we'll see you soon.
it. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Please, yeah, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Hey, look.
Thank you. I mean, you can buy these on the way out too, by the way, if you guys
Yeah.
want to get the Niobe stuff. What's up? You guys got the stuff?
Nice.
Hey, look, you guys can't hear this, but somebody's praising the work already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, they look fantastic too. My man's dressed as Black Panther, the lady dressed as Catwoman.
Yeah,
Like they look great.
If only we had a cameraman.
If only. Someone in Jay.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know,
It's
like
gonna be a bit of a walk too. So.
yeah, that'd be good for Ryan Benjamin. Yeah. You will know where he is, right? Or you got it right. Jay's got it. All right.
Jay's on it.
Yeah, he's on it, dude. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. What an amazing conversation,
I was
man.
so mad that he wasn't the dude from Friends.
I know. Why would he? Like I don't even understand.
Because I used to promote the comics to my niece. Like he worked on Friends too, because he loves Friends. But you know, yeah. I'll still keep telling her it was.
Absolutely, you
Yeah.
should. You definitely should.
Even, especially how he describes the pre-production process.
Right.
Like that's some TV level
Oh,
shit.
absolutely.
Like, stuff.
Yeah. And you know, it's one of those things. It's just so funny because just from a tonal perspective,
Yeah.
where you look at like Untamed or Niobe, it's like, oh no, and Friends. I don't feel but you know, some people are like that creatively, where you know they can do both ends of a spectrum like that. But
when you talk, you know, I've had the chance to talk to him off air and stuff, and it's like he has like, you know, different avenues of what he's working on, you know, trying to get it into mass media and stuff.
Right.
So like you could do that if you network, if
It's
you
true.
work on Friends.
It's true.
So I'm like, I know, like, you know, I never had the balls to do it off the air, but you know, I asked him on the air.
there it is, like Moses Magnum.
Yeah.
You get that friggin'
Shazam!
I know.
You know, you put a mic in front of me, it's
that
like
on-air
Shazam!
bravery. I know.
Yeah.
That's too funny, man. It's too funny.
Shazam! We got to record that. That's got to be a button now.
Dude, I need to mess around and reread Untamed and friggin' like get into all this.
We did, because we reviewed She Is Death, but a random like issue 7. I don't know.
Oh,
if you remember.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, you hated it. You terrible.
I
You
don't
trashed it.
I don't believe that
Yeah,
for
nah.
1 second.
No, you did it.
I know. Like I might not have been there though.
No, you were there.
Oh, I
You were
was there? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But it was one of those things. Like I read from the beginning, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna pick this up because I haven't followed. Like even Untamed, I didn't finish. I got like issue 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I think 3.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let's do this, Niobe. But I don't even know if She Is Death or She Is Life.
Yeah.
It was and it's like, I remember feeling like this character came out in another book, and you know, and that's the thing. It's all connected.
I like it's like I guess the awesome part now is that you know a lot of the stuff is collected, so you know to go from like one collected edition to the second collected edition to the third, but then also too, I'm hoping that at the end of the books they lead you to whatever the next. I know they advertise in all the books, but I hopefully they kind of give you like a little bit of a roadmap in regards to like where you continue the adventure next, or maybe suggested reading. Because I love when that happens too, especially like in books with you know connected universes or in books that have like events. I love even when they do the branching.
Yeah.
Because you know sometimes it's a thing where it's like okay, yeah, you're gonna have an event. And it's like, there's this book, then there's this book, then there's this book. But sometimes they kind of have it where they're like, okay, here is where the event starts. And then from there, they kind of go like, if you want to follow the adventures of what's going on, you can go out like this direction, or this direction, you know, where it's like all these branching narratives that spin out of the kind of main narrative. And then those usually dovetail back into a main narrative and then maybe go out, come in, go out. You know, it's like those are when they're done well. It's always a beautiful thing.
The way you explained that, man, you might as well be Jonathan Hickman, man. I didn't follow any of it. I mean, you're going like this. I'm like, he's talking about Jessica Rabbit.
I know. There it is. No.
Like, yeah, man. Come on, keep it simple, man.
Look.
It's second day of WonderCon.
There it is. It's like we're not nearly inebriated enough for that to make sense.
Pancakes and beer for breakfast, man. Yeah,
pancakes and beer for breakfast sounds like an amazing
hillbilly breakfast.
No, I was gonna say like
hillbilly American breakfast.
I was gonna say a book for like somebody's like self-help book.
That's my
there it is.
Your chicken soup for the soul.
Exactly.
Magnum edition.
Right, pancakes and beer for breakfast.
Too many carbs. Throw some cottage cheese on it.
Yeah.
Some steroids on the side.
Dude. So it's been amazing so far. can't wait to talk to our next guest.
Yeah, man. Ryan Benjamin, man.
Yeah,
The man.
because like, and what I like is that we started off with the co-owner and co-founder of Aspen, which is of course you're very like top like kind of editorial type
Yeah.
thing going on. Then we just of course finished up with Sebastian A. Jones, which it is it's definitely speaking from the writer perspective. And next we're going to be talking to Ryan Benjamin, which is the artist perspective, and like very very much so. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's interesting because in the same way how you have Sebastian, who definitely comes across to me as a specialist when it comes to writing.
Yeah.
Now we have friggin' Ryan Benjamin coming up right now, who's an assassin, a specialist when it comes to art. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder how annoyed he gets at writers.
Yeah,
I'll ask him that.
absolutely. Good to see you.
Sir.
Please, stand right in the middle. You're good to go. That's your spot. You're man in the
That's
middle.
right.
We are live already, ladies and gentlemen.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Man, okay.
Ladies-
No prep.
I know, no, listen. You look,
Just raw.
you look. You're a talent that can go without introduction, but I'm
Okay.
going to introduce you anyway because
What's up?
I just want to say the man's name and be able to say I brought him out on one time, ladies and gentlemen. Artist extraordinaire, Ryan Benjamin is here with us.
Is there a clap track
Oh,
in
it's
the background? Oh, it's
the
going
producer
on.
played it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they
All
can
right.
hear
Okay.
it.
All right.
And I'm like, dude,
We'll put it in post.
I know, right there it is.
That's all good.
Thank you so much for
Yes,
taking
sir.
the time to come and
Yes, sir.
hang with us, man. So and I know like you just actually like basically just came off of a panel, right?
Yeah.
What were you talking about at your panel?
Comic Pro Boot Camp. That's my workshop. And I just ran a panel teaching people how to draw comics.
Dude.
So it was the first
We're
half
stuck doing
was
here. We could have been there.
the first half was me teaching, and the second half was me just critiquing people. So I had maybe about 180 people or something. I had to go through all their work in like 20 minutes.
That's
so I was like
insane.
wrong, fix, change. So I was like, oh god, it was a lot of stuff.
It's like in my mind, what comes to mind when you say that? It makes me like I get images of like Gordon Ramsay
Yes.
on his
Yes.
like on his cooking
That's
show,
me.
like it's like Master Chef,
That's me.
and he's walking around and it's like, damn. just like just like looking at it like why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But but the fact is though, I mean, obviously you're a vet, and
Yes.
and not only a vet, but I mean, I in my opinion, I
Mhm.
feel like you're like highly underrated and unsung. Like you're so good at what you do.
He does that for me too.
I know.
I'm giving him money.
I know.
Then I took care of it all.
that for somebody to get the opportunity to like actually get your expertise in regards to like, hey, here's how you can make what you're doing now a little bit better. Like that's huge.
Yeah. Well, the whole essence of like the workshop is to recreate the camaraderie, the atmosphere of multiple artists, multiple like-minded folks
Yeah.
sitting in one room
Yeah.
trying to reach one goal. So that's what we had back in the old Image, Wildstorm, days back then when we were all sitting together, drawing Wildcats and Union and Gen 13, and those books, because we were all sitting together just, hey, what you doing? What you working on? Let me see. Oh, this is cool. This is blah. And then you sit at your table and you're trying to do stuff, and Jim Lee comes by and critique you and breaks you down, and then you're looking at other artists, and then you go cry because like, I don't want to draw anymore. It's kind of like that. So I'm trying to get other people a little bit of taste of that.
And
a little bit of it.
It's really wild because I mean, and I'm not a comic book artist. I like by any stretch of the imagination.
That's why we started talking about comic books, because that's all we could do.
Right, exactly. Like we like any talent other than to talk about them. That's it. So it's just like the current day atmosphere experience is so different from that time. Like it feels like everybody. I mean,
and I mean, of course, there are like a lot of people doing it digitally. They're at home.
Exactly.
It's just like so. It's
Exactly.
like you don't get anything close to that kind of like mentoring type relationship that you all had in that studio system.
That's why I'm trying to recreate it. I'm trying to offer it because we've had it. That image era where you had Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri and those guys reaching out and building their super team of X-Men to come join their studio and fight the powers that's out there or whatever it is. That was a one-time event. I don't think that can be recreated again.
Right.
Because it's just it happened at the right time with the right people.
Right.
And I just happen to be blessed to be part of that.
Amen.
I'm this struggling artist in Miami, and Jim reached out, grabbed me out of the pool of artists and said, come join me. And I'm sitting there with all these mega stars and they're teaching me how to be a mega star too.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I get it. So after years and years of doing this and from going to shows like this, meeting people that I've seen too many young artists that come to me and said, look at my portfolio, check this out, give me some ideas. What am I doing wrong? And constantly hearing that, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to give it to them more consistently. Instead of them coming to me at the show, I'm going to create a forum where they can come on board, and then you're going to get that critique, not just from me, but from 3 other instructors.
Oh, who are the other instructors?
I will tell you. I was like, Carlos Deanda, Alex Sinclair, and Wills Portasio.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You get it from all 4 of us. And I'm probably the most brutal one out of them because I'm the one that's going to rip you apart and make you cry. The other guys, you would be surprised how nice Wills is. Wills is like, oh, this is cool, blah, 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 blah. Like, no.
No.
Those eyeballs are crooked. Fix those things.
Can I tell you that Wills Portasio is the person responsible for getting me into comics?
He responsible for a couple people.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, like literally the first comic book I ever bought was his cover of X Factor. It was X Factor 68. And I wasn't even into comics. I was literally riding my bike.
Buying a Slurpee.
Yeah, at 7-Eleven with my buddy Jay. Like, because we've known each other that long, like, a wee lad.
Yeah.
And I remember passing the spitter rack and I saw Cyclops just like on the cover, like, and I was like, what's going on with that dude?
What's going on with that dude?
Because this is not this is before like the X-Men. Well,
you
it was
judge a book by its cover.
It's a comic. That's what you do. That's what you do. But the fact is, I mean, sure, there was the like Pride of the X-Men animated thing that came out, but this is all before like X-Men the animated series, all kind of stuff. So there wasn't like I didn't know really much anything about X-Men except for what I saw on that cover.
Yep.
And I was just like, that looks interesting. And back in those days, I could pull that and give the man $1, and he's like, "That's yours," and that's it. No, not even any tax.
Have enough to take the trolley back home.
It's like I just got back in my horse and buggy and went away. No.
I had to walk. I can't even afford the trolley. I got to walk.
But dude, it's like so to hear about the caliber of people that you surrounded yourself with, man. That's a murderer's row of artists, man.
I didn't surround myself with the opportunity. The door opened up. I jumped in and they were there. I'm like, holy smokes! Whoa, these guys are here.
No, but for your boot camp.
Oh, you mean for the boot camp?
The boot camp. No, that's what I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about your boot camp.
So
you picked those guys.
I picked those guys. I picked them. I'm like, these are the guys I want, and they're family. That's what's cool about them because they're not just these talented people. And I had to convince them with family. We're in the early image days together. We all worked in the studio together, and we did it. I tried to get Jim Lee, but Jim Lee was.
I mean, hey,
he's busy.
Listen, a lot of people try to get Jim Lee to do a lot of different. Jim, what we're talking.
Jim's not ready for this. He ain't coming.
You brought up an interesting point when we talk about your early, like the opportunity presented itself to you. How do you, a young dude, recognize that opportunity as an opportunity?
The opportunity for the studio or
just to actually like get into comics, like having
to get into comics.
Yeah, like because I mean I'm sure you were drawing, but some people would be like, oh, let me get you into this, but you hear it with a lot of musicians where they get preyed upon.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And I can imagine in comics, I'm sure there's
Well-
some other dark side stories too.
No, good stuff.
But,
You won't hear from me.
yeah, no, exactly. At least not with the mic on.
But the thing about comics is that it is a cheap, easy way to create an IP and test it with an audience. And you can literally do it for no money. Literally. You just, if you are the creator, you have the idea in your head, you have paper, pencil, you can start drawing, making it, post it on your Instagram, doing whatever you want to do, get it somewhere. You can plug it into Webtoons, and I think you can do that for free. On Webtoons, and just get it in there. You're not going to get paid for it, but it's up there. People will be seeing it, and you're going to raise an audience from that. You do your own marketing and stuff like that. You're your own machine. I've learned throughout the years, and I'm sure the U.S. government will agree with me on this. Is that's why they make LLCs and C corps and all these things. Is that you are your machine, you are your enterprise, you are the battleship, and you have to build this battleship. You have to clean the battleship. You have to polish the battleship. You have to make the battleship look great. Take it out there into war and battle who you need to battle on your battleship. So that means you have to play all the roles. You got to play the captain, the crewman, the whatever you got to do. You got to do what you need to do to get this battleship going. So you are the machine, and you can't let other people stop you from building this machine that you're doing. So the way I look at it, especially with comics, is that now you have the opportunity, a cheap, easy, free opportunity to create an IP and test it with an audience. And now when you have it, you get feedback, and you look at it and you're like, wow, okay, I can see where I'm going wrong, where I'm going right. And then you can make adjustments and then keep going and then make more adjustments and keep going. So this is like the routine and the pattern. I came out with a book. Right now it's on Webtoons. You guys can go check it out. It's called Brothers Bond. It's on Webtoons. You can go check it out right now. I created that from frustration throughout working in the industry. And the frustration was this. I would draw a comic, then I hand it off to an inker, then I hand it, and then it would go to a colorist, and then when it comes back to me, part of my brain is like, that's not what I was thinking. It's not 100% what's in my head.
Right.
So I was like, I need to do something that's 100% in my head. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm just going to do my own thing on the side. While I'm drawing Batman and all these other books I'm drawing, I'm just going to do my thing on the side at the same time. So I created my own character based on what I like. I like solo versus team. I rather solo characters. So like, I'm going to develop one guy and build a storyline around him. So I came up with a storyline about this young prince, right? And I'm like, this is a cool idea. I'm a young prince, and he has his two sidekicks. Who can his sidekicks be? And I was thinking, samurais. Okay, blind samurais. Oh yeah, that's it. Blind samurais who are his sidekicks. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to run with that. So there's one kid with his two blind samurais who are there to protect him. So I'm brainstorming on that and start coming up with even more and more and more ideas around it. And then eventually it just kind of blew up into what it blew up into. Then I submitted it to after it was on Webtoons, I submitted it to the Eisners. It was nominated for Best Digital Comic of 2018. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Just some random idea I had in my head. I just decided to make a comic book, and I was nominated for an Eisner Award. The same thing can happen to many people out there. The person who's looking at me right now with an idea in their head, and you want to develop a comic book, you can do the exact same thing I'm doing. I'm no different from you. It's just that I just happen to have opportunities and a chance to pick up a pencil and draw with some amazing people. You can do the same thing.
You still have an amazing talent.
Oh, I had the talent coming in, but I wasn't a comic book artist. Right. I was more of a traditional artist. I mean, like I would go to art galleries. Salvador Dali is like one of my favorite. Michelangelo, my favorite. I would go to museums and look at paintings all the time, and that's where my realm was. I grew up in Miami, South Beach. That's where I would hang out, going to art galleries out there, doing the Art Deco type of thing.
So like fine art.
Fine arts. That's where my head was at before. And similar to you, my friend Brett Booth and I were in class, and he showed me Jim Lee's X-Men #1, and that's when my eyes went.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. Like,
His friend Brett Booth.
my
friend
friend is
another.
Lloyd. And he loves comics.
Well, Brett and
But
I
he
were
doesn't draw.
Brett and I were in class together. We went to school together. So when we were in class, he showed me the book, and he was like, "This is Jim Lee, X-Men #1," and I'm looking at it like, "Holy smokes!" That's when the light bulb kicked in my head, and like, I think I want to draw comics. And that's when it changed. I started making a shift from the Art Deco fine arts into a comic book artist, because I was starving artist.
But I mean, it's
Saltine crackers and some water in my fridge. That's all I had. I was broke.
Yesterday when I was watching you draw that Harley Quinn,
Oh, yeah.
cover, that you kind of hit me in that little fine art.
I have it here.
Oh, look! Let's show it. Let's
Show the people. Let's show
I'm
it.
scared
Okay.
to touch it.
I know, right? I know. Oh, look at it. There it is.
So it's right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's no glare on it. Right?
Let's see.
Is there glare on there?
A little bit.
Is it one at the
Tilt it
bottom?
down a little. There you
That's good.
go. Yeah.
Is it right here?
So you did these two strokes with the paint marker, the white
Yeah.
pigment marker.
Yep.
And I was like, he just in the middle of talking to us, he just grabbed that marker and just did two strokes. And I'm like,
How about these right here?
Yeah. How does he know to put
I know.
that there?
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
I'll explain it.
It's insane.
But that comes from fine art too, right?
It comes from just raw instinct and raw feeling.
Yeah.
I didn't decide I need two strokes. I decided I need something in there to lighten this area, and I need to create energy going in this specific direction. So I just threw two strokes to see what happened. I was like, oh, it came out cool, and I left it.
But if you say, see what happened, what happens if it turns out that doesn't work?
That's when you use black and you go in and slap the black on top of the white, and you kind of get rid of it. You know, like, I made a mistake. And you just black it out, you know, and then you try again. So that's what I do. I feel it more than I think it. The thinking comes when you're concepting. So it's very much like when I have a blank sheet of paper and I'm coming up with a cover or something, I'm thinking it. I'm thinking, okay, I have a cover. I need a character, Black Panther. He's doing this. He's swinging. He's doing this. Maybe he's doing something like that. I'm thinking this, and so I'm going to try. So as I'm thinking it, I'm relying on my instinct to try to capture that what I'm thinking. So I'm trying to capture it. Trying to capture it, and then I'll look back and I'm like, okay, it's kind of going the right direction. And because I understand my primitives, I understand angles, I'm laying out my angles. And then once I have that, I'm like, I got it. Now I just jump right into it, head first, and I go immediately straight for the anatomy and start knocking it out. And then when I'm done, I ink it. And that's how I ended up with these pieces. That process takes about an hour and a half to 4 hours, something like that, in that range. And then I'll have a final finished piece. Because I'm pretty fast. I've been doing this for
no, absolutely.
I know I don't.
And
look
that's why
it,
you
but
get but that's why you get. You don't look like you've been doing it that long, right?
29 years I've been doing it.
But
29.
and that's the thing where I was before you were walking up, I was telling Moses that like I was basically saying, like, in my mind, like, Ryan Benjamin is an assassin. Like, this fool is a art specialist, and that's the thing where it's just like like, and so it blew my mind here when you said, oh, and then I did my brother's bond on Webtoons. I'm like, I didn't even know that you write.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just like, talk about that. Like how did you I mean, not everybody. I mean, obviously the comic book industry has its fair share of writer artists.
Okay.
But at the same time, I mean, a lot of the time you can tell which one they started with.
Yeah.
So
Well, look at Will. Will started off as a penciler, and he started off as an inker, and then he turned into a penciler. So the same thing. So, but my journey to become a writer, I still don't consider myself a writer. To this day, I still don't consider myself a writer. I can create.
And that's a different skill.
Yeah, and that's a different skill. Okay, so my writing process or my ability to write came from other writers that I hung out with, and they've written multiple books and stuff like that. So I've been questioning them, like, dude, how do you do this? How do you do this? And they'll kind of coach me, and then I'll write out a plot, and then they're like, oh, this is good, but change this or fix this.
Mm-hmm.
So they're coaching me as I'm doing this, and I'm getting it from real seasoned writers around me. So so it's not like I went to school for any of this. I just happen to be around the right people who can walk me through this. It's weird because that pattern's been happening to me all throughout my life. That's how I ended up on Batman Beyond. That's how Brothers Bond came out.
Yeah, yeah.
So many like weird things that just happen to be around me when I need it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I still can't explain to this day.
So are you working on any other projects like that right now, or are you right now more focusing on doing your own? I mean, doing art.
Brothers Bond is ongoing. I am working on book 3.
Okay.
So I'm not sure when it's going to be ready because I'm also working on a board game, 2 board games. One of them is Stanley Genesis, which is it's an IP that Stanley created before he passed, and I partnered with Rocket Ship Entertainment and Power Entertainment, which is Stanley's company, and I am co-owner of that brand, the IP.
Okay.
And we're developing the IP as a board game. So it's going to have 200 characters, and you get to play the board game. We're going to be running the Kickstarter for it, I think, in like June or July.
Okay.
Don't quote me, but I was told this summer. So whatever summer means,
Yeah,
I don't know. June or
got it.
July, August. Is August fall? I don't even know. So
Some of it
somewhere around that
We live
time.
in California. We don't know what seasons do.
So
we learned this winter.
I know. It's raining and snowing like crazy.
Yeah, right.
Global warming and crazy. But so I'm working on that. I'm working on the Brothers Bond board game, which is already finished, but we're just still working on like the process of launching that.
Okay.
So that's coming up. I'm working on 3 comics right now. One of them I could talk. I think I could talk about one of them. 2 of them. Well, one of them is similar to like The Walking Dead, so it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic type of world type of thing. And the other one is Assassin's Creed. I don't know if you guys heard of Assassin's Creed before.
Of course.
But
yeah, absolutely.
I'm working on a small comic, an Assassin's Creed comic, and I'm really trying to bring it on this one because I typically don't ink. I ink, but I typically don't ink like interior pages because they take forever. But I'm doing it for this one. So this one here, I'm going to bring like some real power to this because I'm thinking. I remember just the process that said I need to put what's in my head on paper.
Yeah.
I'm doing that with this comic. So you're going to see a lot more of me in this comic, and I guarantee it's going to be powerful because
of course, like I mean,
I know how to bring it.
The kinetic nature of your particular art is perfect for that franchise. That's what Assassin's Creed is all about: momentum and about like friggin' jumping from the towers.
Oh yeah,
into the hay bales. Friggin' and of course the stealth kills like that. That sounds amazing.
The writer, he's a diehard Assassin's Creed fan.
Okay,
and he knows everything about the world. And he was like, hey, they've never done anything that goes in this direction before, so I'm going to write it that goes in this direction.
Can you talk about what time period it takes place in?
It's like kind of like, I'll just say this. I can't talk too much about it.
Yeah. We don't want you to break any NDAs.
There's ninjas in it.
Oh, I'm in.
There's ninjas.
Let's go.
In this
I was in already. But if there's ninjas
with ninjas, it's in there. So it's coming.
And then can you say what the title is? Oh, can you say the title of the Walking Dead like thing?
It's
not yet?
I'm not sure if I can say that.
No, listen, I'm not trying to get you. Huh? He's so crazy.
It's still in production. It's still in the early stages.
And what can you tell us about the third project that you can't say much specifics on, but what can you tease us with?
I can't really say because I can't say. I can't.
Okay.
I really can't because
like I said, right? Like we don't want to get you in trouble.
It involves a really big name in the industry, someone who's created some titles that has people that they made movies for and all kinds of stuff like that. So, and I don't want to involve. I don't want to mention it yet.
Just don't be mad when we bug you about it. So because we want to make sure that we get you on as soon as you can talk about that kind of stuff too. So don't worry. But
his name starts with an F. That's all I'll say. So you guys can figure it out after that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that.
Look, there it is. Starts with an F. Now, one thing that just this goes back to the kinetic nature of your comic book art.
Yeah.
One thing that we're big fans of that you've been a part of recently is Marvel Snap.
Oh snap!
And so the Marvel Snap cards, like many of these base cards, not variants now, because there's a lot of artists that do variants, but the cards that when you initially get the cards, some of those best cards, in my opinion, this man is the artist for those. The highlight for me, being the X-Men fan that I am, has to be Magneto, because I'm just like, dude, that Magneto is like, and what I love about Marvel Snap, and the thing that I feel like is like the hard part about being an artist for something like this, is that when you're talking about characters that are as iconic as those in the Marvel universe, and even the ones that aren't iconic but that people know and love, because every character is somebody's favorite character. When you're talking about like a trading card, the art for that, it has to capture like the essence of that character. And it's like, you have to make a decision on like, okay, like again, going back to the Magneto.
Yeah.
Magneto's had plenty of different looks throughout his existence.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, there's some that are more classic than others, but at the same time, even when you're talking about classic Magneto, there's variations on that too. So you have to come up with not only like what like costume that he has to wear, but what pose he has to be in, what gesture and what look is he gonna have on his face. And to me, I'm just like, the idea that you like, it'd be one thing if you did it just for the one card, which would be amazing in and of itself. But you've done it for upwards of like 50 of these cards.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. Yeah.
So it's just like, talk to us about that, and what is that process like? Like,
that was a 6-month long process. I'll tell you that. It took a while to do them.
I'm surprised it's only 6 months.
So, well, in that process, there are directors and people who help organize all that stuff. We keep track of the process and everything. So typically, what I'll do is I'll do some layouts. Do like 2 or 3 layouts, and I'll send it in, and I'll get some feedback from the editors and all these guys and whoever's behind the scenes that's looking at it, and they're like, we like this, we don't like this, change this, fix this.
Right. The decision.
So they'll give me that information, and I'll take that and I'll start going. And I'll draw it, I'll pencil it out, and I'll send that in so they can make sure everything's solid. Once I get the pencils, then because there's some parallaxing going on in the game, I had to create layers. So I had to keep everything on layers. So I had to create, if it's Magneto, he's standing like this, I had to create just the arm on the layer. Then I had to create just his body with his head on another layer. I had to create the background on another layer. So now when you're moving and things kind of move, things like we have to piece it all
to create that 3D
together.
effect. Yeah.
So it gives it that 2.5
right.
of effect. That's basically what it does. And so that's the process what we had to go through to get that done. And it took about 6 months to do the characters. They would give me about 10 at a time, and I would kind of just knock them out on my own time whenever I had it. And it paid really well.
I'm so happy to hear that. You deserve you deserve a raise. So, I'm gonna tell him right now, like, hey,
cool,
pay him more to do the next step. So do you have, like, say, a favorite and a least favorite in regards to like what you did during that process that you can remember? Like, is there one that stood out to you where you're just like, man, that is really good? And is there one where you were just like, man, you kind of slaved over it? Like, I just don't, like, this is the worst doing this particular character?
Oh man, there's a couple of them that's really good. I did a Black Panther. I did
the Black Panther is good.
Like, I did a Luke Cage one.
The Luke Cage is really good too.
I did a couple of them. Even the simple ones, like this, I did Squirrel Girl. She's good.
And you did Squirrel Girl, and like Squirrel Girl, her squirrels like come out. You did squirrels too.
Yeah. So I think I did. I don't remember. This was
Yeah, right.
a year and a half ago when I did it.
Let me ask you this question though too, and so one of the other big portions of the game, which you know, it's like, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff about the game outside of the art, but the art, of course, I think is a very, it's at the core of how the appeal that the game has. But one thing that stands out about it is that every character has like their own unique like name logo. Is that something that you do too, or does somebody else does that?
It's a totally different.
Like it's like
team.
basically like a lettering team or whatever.
Every person has their role.
Uh-huh.
I just produce the art, hand it off, and then they have a whole team that does all that other stuff.
And I mean that team deserves a lot of props too, because they literally. So for instance, I mean, I know that like a character like a Squirrel Girl has had their own book before, and so there might be like, you know, some kind of precedent for like what the Squirrel Girl logo should look like. But you know, when you're talking about there's characters out there like, you know, that has not had a logo.
Man. I bought that
right.
I bought it just because I like the logo. I like the font.
Right. So
I can design all that stuff, but I didn't do any of that stuff. That's someone else, some other graphic artists that do that. So.
Man, but it is something else, man. And so what about the other end? What was like a tough one where that you were just like, I don't know, like, you know.
I did a tough one what do you mean? Like I didn't like it. I wasn't sure if I liked it or not.
I mean, either you didn't know if you liked it or not, or maybe it was like the conceptualization process was a little bit harder than, say, it didn't come to you quite as easy as maybe some of the other ones.
They all came.
They all came in. He's like, guess what? I'm talented.
It's not hard.
He's like, listen. I've been doing this. He's like, what? He's like, what?
There is nothing hard in art. There's nothing hard in art.
Listen,
everything's easy.
Everything. There is a Marvel Snap variant artist somewhere that is just out here crying right now, just like, why is he saying like that? Like
it's not hard.
Like their cat's over here emailing somebody like, hey, so where are the variants? Look, we only asked you to do 12.
Well, there's more. From what I can see. That's out. There's probably like 30 more that you guys haven't seen that I've done.
I'm so excited to hear that. Like,
wait and see.
I mean, like, and the game took off. It won best mobile game for the Game Awards this past year.
I'm just blessed to even be part of the art team that's on there. So thank you, Marvel. Thank you, everyone who contacted me and got me on that project. Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome.
Do you still have the original?
I still have originals except for one.
Which one?
The Deadpool was someone contacted me and I already sold that one, so that one's gone. Everything else I have.
How much did that go for, if you don't mind me asking?
That one was I think I can't remember. I think that one went for like 800 or something.
Okay.
I'm not mad at it.
Somewhere
I'm not mad at it. Damn it. Damn it. Listen, there it is. Listen, okay. Look. Now, I mean, listen, Ryan, we agreed upon a certain amount of time, so we're never gonna let you go. I guess because listen, here's the thing: what you don't know about me is I'm a Wildstorm stan. Like, I love the Wildstorm era, and I'm talking about like from the beginning. Like I remember in the '90s, like reading Stormwatch and being like, dude, this is it. Like, because I mean, Stormwatch was a UN-funded superhero team with heroes from all over the world, and you had like friggin' Battalion as the leader, which back then, a black guy, like he was a black psychic with friggin' like cyber armor, and it was just like that was not something that you would like see in comics back then, And this dude runs the whole team, but going all the way from there, going into like I mean, dude, and then of course going into like the Ellis era of Wildstorm and like just like I mean the Authority, like all that stuff. Like it's like it hurt my heart when it turned out that stuff didn't continue and go into fruition or whatnot. And I know that like they're incorporating it into the DC universe, but that's like a different thing. And I'm not mad at it because some of the characters have retained a lot of the charm that they had, but how obviously it being its own universe is something that is a different thing and something that's very special. And I love those books and just about every iteration that's come out of it. I mean, even the era where they went to the point where like Wildstorm literally like ended their own universe
Yeah.
and did like, you know, now it's just like, wow, like what, like, which is something that has happened a few times in other books now, but when Wildstorm did it, that is not something that happened in comics where they're like, oh, they had an apocalyptic world-ending event and the heroes lost and the world like actually ended. It's like now that's like, oh, like Marvel's gonna make a whole movie about that kind of stuff. But
he's like, I thought you said we had a time limit.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
man,
Exactly.
that.
So yeah, but like
I gotta go.
I say all right. I say all that to say I could talk to you about all this stuff all day, but I will reserve it for another time.
All right.
But we appreciate
No
you,
problem.
Ryan, for taking the time.
So just hit me up in San Diego. I'll do this again in San Diego.
I love it. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And Brothers Bond, man,
Sir.
it's like the you know, I know you say you can get it on webtoons, but the actual bound book is just beautiful. Like the size, the pages are big. And
Rocket
the print
Ship
is
Entertainment.
good. Yeah.
You can get it there at rocketshipentertainment.com, or you can get it on Amazon also. I think you can also get it at Barnes and Nobles. It's because it's in that store. So
nice.
you can check it
That's
out
awesome.
there.
Awesome. Thank you once again, Ryan.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yes, sir. My man.
All right. See ya.
All right.
All
Check
right.
you later. See ya.
Take care, man. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I feel that was everything as promised and more.
We're supposed to do 45 minutes.
Oh, wait. Oh, man. Look, wait a minute. What happened? The show. Look, is the con over? What's going on? Jay, are you in the shot? Yes, you are.
Yeah, he's in the show.
Oh, okay. He's like, I'm here. So
You
I
get
mean,
a little closer.
yeah, man. Look, act like you know me, man. No. So, look, we haven't gotten the opportunity to hear anything from you because, of course, well, I don't want to say Mo's been doing all this talking because it's me. It's me. I get it. But Mo, of course, has been able to been contributing as well. You got any thoughts on any of the stuff that you just saw, or anything that stuck out to you that you're just like, man, why didn't you dummies ask about this?
Okay.
Digital Stranger Comics?
If I was talking to Ryan, like he mentions his talent, and I know a lot of young people, or by young I mean people just starting out or the inexperienced. Talent is one of the things. Like, how do you train your talent?
Into skill.
Is it into skill? Like, how do you, like, is it just the practice, or is it something else that comes? Like, is there something else? Like, he was surrounded, of course, by amazingly talented people, which is definitely going to help you. Like, if you're surrounded by talent, you're going to absorb some of that talent if you're working hard. But I probably would have asked him about that. I know he said art is easy. Like, there's nothing hard about art.
Listen, here's the messed up part. I believe him too. 100%
strokes. Like,
he's like, man, that ain't nothing.
I recently started trying to learn how to draw again.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you making a circle is the hardest thing in the world, like,
it is hard though.
Like, tell me, Ryan, what I need to do from here. Like, I drew my circle. It sucked. Like,
get a circle.
Help me help the circle. Help me help the circle.
Like, yeah, if you could just help me make a circle, or maybe make a cube that has all equal sides, like, that would be awesome.
It's fair. That's more than fair.
I did have a question prep kind of in that vein, but his answer also kind of just like, I need to really just take shots with him. Like, what was it like with your parents? Like, Dad, I want to draw comics. Like, if it was like my mom, at least, like, like, you want to, here, I got a comic for you right here.
Like, I know a pretty talented individual. I'm not going to say his name because I don't have permission to tell the story.
Tom Cruise?
But he
Gibson?
basically says the reason he isn't in like a artistic field is specifically because his parents were like, that's not real work. And they kept getting on him like, oh, that's not real work. That's not real work.
That's sad.
And so the super talented person is like, I don't know what he does now. Like, he's a nurse or something.
He's not the weatherman for like NBC The Today Show?
No.
Because that's what happened to him too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's his name?
That's Joe's friend.
Yeah. I forget his name, but oh boy, that lost weight.
Al Roker.
Al Roker. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Joe's
That
friend.
was him. He wanted to be a comic book artist. He wanted to be a cartoonist. And they're like, that's not real work. And then he became a weatherman.
Right. So, yeah, asking Ryan about that
Okay.
would be interesting.
You're gonna have to wait till San Diego Comic-Con and subscribe, like, hit the bell to see that.
There it is. There it is. So, I mean, it's been a great broadcast. We've got an opportunity to talk to a lot of amazing folks, and we'll probably go ahead and try to do some stuff from the floor tomorrow since it's a shorter day. But if there's something specific that you all want to see, please continue to let us know. We'll look at the comments, and we'll try to make that happen. So I don't know anything.
Yeah, look, I just want to thank the AUHS media here at Comic-Con, the American University of Health Sciences, and their foundation for giving us this opportunity to do it from here.
Yeah.
Made it a lot easier than carrying this stuff around
Amen.
from booth to booth. So, auhs.edu to get all the information you need to join their organization and all the great things they have to offer for you, especially if you're in a transitional space where you need to find a career or a little bit of guidance. They got you.
Yep. Jay, anything else you want to add before we get out of here today?
No.
Good. Great answer, Jay. Great answer. Look, there it is. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us here at day 2 at WonderCon 2023. We will catch you all tomorrow. And until then, be good to each other. See you tomorrow.
You need a touch screen. So I could have just been like,